Welcome to Hot Topics in International Trade, brought to you by Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group.
Hi, this is Bob Brewer with Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group. Welcome to the podcast. With me, once again, Adrienne Braumiller, partner and founder of Braumiller Law Group.
Here I am.
There you are again. So, Adrienne had tapped me on the shoulder a minute ago and said, hey, I'll tell you what, Bob, I'll do a little update on IEEPA for you.
I will.
And I said, all right, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot to update, but, the CAPE process, which is the portal through which importers are going to receive their refunds or apply for their refunds, that's moving right along. Apparently, I want to say about 21% of the total amount owed have been submitted. But what's funny is I think only 3% are in the refund process. So it's a very slow process.
Well, I saw the other day thousands were booted out too for...
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that can boot you out, right? And if you're not the right type of entry summary, if you... because right now they're not accepting like O3 entries, which are anti-dumping countervailing duty.
Okay.
If you have an entry that's beyond 80 days past liquidation, that'll boot you out. If you have a reconciliation entry, that's going to boot you out. If you've previously submitted a spreadsheet that had the entry on a prior spreadsheet, it'll boot you out because it's a duplicate claim. So there's a lot of different things that could happen that would boot you out. One thing that's kind of frustrating for people is we don't know when phase 2 or phase 3 or phase 4, we don't know how many phases there's going to be, but we have no clue whatsoever about the remaining entries and when they would be eligible for submission through the CAPE process. So I think that's kind of troubling people, especially because so many companies out there use reconciliation and they're just like, God, when are we ever going to be able to get our entries in there for a refund? So I think that's frustrating. The other thing we have to keep in mind is that the government still has the ability to file for an appeal on Judge Eaton's order regarding this whole refund process, and they have until June 8th to do that. I think, kind of looking at what some of the other attorneys are saying, I think if they were going to appeal just the refund in general, they would have done that already because the first refunds are supposed to happen, I think, next week. Is May 11th next week? Because I think that's when the first ones happen, May 11th. The government, if they do appeal, I believe that they would appeal whether or not the judge's order is valid regarding reliquidating finally liquidated entries. I think that's kind of the big question out there is whether or not Judge Eaton has the authority to put in place a refund process for finally liquidated entries, which is why we're continuing to tell people, please don't sit there and say, oh yeah, look, CBP is processing these refunds, so we don't have to do anything. That's not true.
Right.
If the entry is about to hit final liquidation, 180 days after liquidation, you have to protect yourself. We're still telling people you need to file a protest. Don't sit on your laurels thinking, oh yeah, the government's going to pay me my money. I think that is very risky. And I have heard that, how do I want to say this? I have heard that there's definitely some incentives for customs officers to find mistakes.
What?
I've heard that. I don't know if it's true.
What kind of incentive?
Let's say economic incentives.
Really?
Uh-huh. I don't know if it's true, but this is what I've heard.
That sounds like Russia.
No. So anyway, I do think, but I mean, honestly, we've always known, Customs has said, any mistakes that an importer makes can be used to offset the refund they're otherwise owed.
Okay.
So that's essentially where we are. Brandon Lord with CBP continues to provide status updates about the CAPE process. I thought this last status update, he would talk about phase 2, but he didn't. So if he doesn't talk about it this next time, I'm going to wonder why.
Because he doesn't know.
I mean,
Doesn't know. They haven't really decided on exactly what that's going to be.
well, they need to figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the problem, because while he figures it out, every day's going by, entries are liquidating.
Yep.
And when they liquidate, then that triggers the need to protect yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, as far as your experience on this, how our clients,
I mean, no one's seen a refund yet, but we've had some clients that wanted to file on day one, and we did. So, but there's plenty of others that are in the reconciliation bucket that are just waiting to see what's going to happen. The problem is, too, with reconciliation entries is that parties that are like forced to reconcile, if they actually do put in place some kind of adjustment to the entries, the IEEPA tariffs are still being collected through reconciliation. So that's really a problem. And I think that's triggering some people to say, like, what do I do?
Yep.
What can I do? So that's still kind of an unknown out there.
Okay. Are we still helping peeps get their ACE set up for this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the key things to get a refund is have an ACE account and make sure that you have applied for ACH.
Yep.
ACH. So those are the two things you have to have.
Yep.
So, but I mean, we're still filing protests. We're still filing court cases.
Okay.
It just depends on what a client's needs are. We're helping people prepare the CAPE declaration. So we're helping people identify that. So pretty much the full gamut of whatever people need, we can help with.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm kind of involved with that too. But
Yeah.
it's slowed down a little bit now that we've got
Yep.
a lot of peeps on board.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
So we were bombarded there.
But I would like to see refunds.
Yes.
Refunds without scrutiny.
That's not going to
I
happen.
would like to see. You don't know that. We'll wait and see.
Just say, I don't see that. I mean, that's why we went by the suspenders and boot, belt
Yeah.
suspenders approach in the very beginning with the lawsuits as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're unsure
Right.
of what kind of obstacles may be in the way.
Right.
That's the first I've heard about the incentives, though. That's scary. All right.
This is what I
Good
understand.
to know, but hey, we're a law firm. So
Yeah.
we can stand up to that.
Okay. Yes, we can.
We can stand up. Well, it's what we do for a living. We will protect your right.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what we have to do.
That's right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
There's your IEEPA
There's-
update for you.
There's your update.
All right.
Okay.
Adrienne
Thank you.
Braumiller,
Thank
partner,
you.
founder, Braumiller Law Group.
Thank you so much.